Recording. We are recording now. It is Wednesday, September 20th. Welcome to the team call. I'm so psyched, you guys. I'm so psyched about this topic because ultimately, like when I drop the truth bombs, like when I'm coming at you, and like I know you saw my post on the team page, like my heart is on fire today. Like get ready. It's because I have had my own revelation, right? I have had my own internal struggle, which leads to my own internal pep talk, which leads to my own internal booty kick, right? Like that's how this all is. That's how this has to be, because I feel that the way to most authentically and best show up for you guys is to literally teach what I'm going through. And hey Brandy, I see you. So let's just take it back a week, right? We're gonna hop right in. So last week I posted in the team page, you guys, I'm sorry, I can't do a team call tonight. Like, how many times do you remember me actually canceling a team call? Like, never, ever. I'll in advance, if we've got something going on, then we won't have one. But I can maybe remember 2 or 3 times, honestly. And last week it was not happening. And you guys need to hear that, and you need to see that, and you need to know that. Here's the thing. First of all, as you all know, we always are going for progress and not perfection. Always, always, always. Here's the thing. Every once in a while, it's nice to kind of get that sense of oh, maybe she doesn't have her stuff together too, right? Do you guys ever feel that? I know that I look at coaches and I'm like, they have it all together all the time. And I don't know if any of you look at me like that. I feel like I'm pretty real, and I kind of show you the madness as well as the good stuff. But ultimately, as the leader of the team, you kind of have to just suck it up, buttercup, sometimes, and do it anyway. But last week it was not happening because, and I don't think, I was talking to Lynn actually about this, and she helped me reframe this. I was like, maybe it was good. They see that I don't have all my stuff together. And she goes, I don't think it's that you don't have all your stuff together. I think, and I used a different word, but there are babies present, so we're keeping it G over here. But it's more that life happens sometimes, right? Can I get an amen to that? Here's the thing. We can do things proactively, right? And we do. You know that if you're a part of this team, you are always seeking the good. You are always seeking the resolution. You are always seeking, okay, how can I turn this into a positive? But you guys, last Wednesday was not a good day in the Jillian world that was going on, right? So quick recap. My back seized up again. And for those of you that were here at the beginning of the year, you know how much that rocked my world. That was the first time it happened then. And it was a stop sign to the face from the universe of a lot of energetic stuff. And it was very similar this time. I'm doing the ultimate reset. So let's just throw that right out there. The body is actually going through a lot, but my spirit and my soul within me is going through a lot right now. Lots of changes, lots of exciting things, but with newness, with excitement comes the opportunity and the invitation to stop and allow for old baggage to try to detox, right? Come on out. And that's hard on our bodies, and it's hard on our minds, and it's hard on our souls. It's not an excuse as to stop doing everything forever, or it's also not an invitation for you to cower back into your hole. When you are starting something, when you're gonna go through the rough patch of the right, in You Are a Badass, the big snooze. That's what it is. So the back seized up. My husband had to come home from work in order for me to get to the chiropractor, emergent appointment. They snuck me in somehow. That was crazy. Somebody told me that I looked pregnant. I'm not. I'm not. I was walking with my, hips belly out, bad back, but also I'm going to be real with this with you guys too. You guys saw my results from the Shift Shop. Bomb.com, right? Well, guess what happened? Jillian went to the other flipping end of the pool after that and was super indulgent with food and drinks throughout the summer. I don't regret it. I don't regret it. We had a lot of things to celebrate this summer. We had a lot going on. There's a lot happening kind of behind the scenes in my life. And it was all necessary. But I don't look the way I did back in June after the shift shop, right? Like, and for those of you at Summit, remember Carl actually worded it really nicely. The shift shop meal plan is a transformational meal plan, right? Like, that's not like the lifestyle sustainable one. Like, you want to get results, you follow the shift shop meal plan. That's not to say you follow it and you're going to lose your results like I did. Not that I lost them all. I'm going to give myself more credit than that. But it's not going to necessarily happen unless like you like eat all the chocolate and drink all the wine. But like, 21 Day Fix is more of that like sustainable life meal plan. So there's all that. Somebody, basically in front of my entire neighborhood goes, "Oh, you have another one in there?" That's what they said. So like that happened. And you guys know we're all women. That's a shot to the heart. Like, I don't care. It's like a freaking shot to the heart. You can be the most badass, like self-confident person ever. And if you're not pregnant and somebody says that, it hurts. So there's that. And then there was a situation where I thought that somebody that was going to be able to serve my family was going to be able to do that. She ended up not being able to. So I found this all out on the same day. Like this all happened. It wasn't even 12 hours, you guys. This was like 7 hours this all happened. So I'm like in a state. And I'm like, okay, I cannot actually be a good coach tonight. There is no possible way that I can show up with the energy that my team deserves to be a good coach tonight. And I think that every once in a while, the message that I want you guys to take away from this is every once in a while, you have to say, I literally have nothing in my cup with which to serve. Not a single drop. And if I try, you're all going to walk away from that conversation feeling the negative energy that I had. And I didn't want that for you guys. So that's the first lesson. Give yourself flipping grace when things are really that yucky. And remember what Gabby Bernstein says, happy people are okay with being unhappy. They just are. Because they know that in order to feel that high level of happiness, you have to also know what the other side feels like. And you also know that you're able to get back there more quickly because you know what you felt. So thank you guys for blowing up the chat. I'm not reading them right now, but I will go back to them. But I just want to make sure to like get this all out as eloquently as possible. So there's that. That was last week. Now I want to speed you up to this week, right? So I will share with you, I have given, finally, I think actually for the first time in my entire life, I gave myself grace and space in a lot of things. And that felt really good. But then this week, there were a couple again, big snooze moments that started appearing for me. And I started then looking at it as like, okay, are these like points in time? Or is this like a habit based, like this bad stuff is coming because of something that I've been doing, right? So it's opportunity. Like if you look at life as a big experiment and with like the whole lens of like, okay, how can I learn from this situation? Like, this is interesting that this stuff keeps happening. Like, what's really going on here? I want to bring you to the point that I made actually in my post today. And for those of you that saw it, and for those of you that saw that what the team call was going to be about, how are you proving to yourself that you can or you can't do something? What's going on within you energetically, maybe, that you're calling in? You maybe don't want, but you're still subscribing to it. You're still believing in it. So you are literally blocking what you really want from happening because you are believing the opposite. That's one. And then two, what are you actually doing or not doing that is basically a self-fulfilling prophecy? So when I say, what is this proving to yourself? I want you to think about this. Do you have a goal? And let's make it business specific right now. Do you claim that you want to hit a goal within the business? Say you claim you want diamond, right? You want to hit diamond. But are you doing the work First of all, and that doesn't necessarily mean hard, strenuous, all time consuming, this is all I'm focusing on work. But like, are you literally taking the inspired action that is going to get you to that point? Or are you literally skating around what you have to do or not doing anything at all, claiming that you want it, getting really pissed off when it doesn't happen, but you're literally not doing the work? And why are you doing that? I don't think we ever have an intention like, oh, I feel like self-sabotaging today. None of us like have that thought. But basically, if you kind of rewind it, like reel it back to what is ultimately going on, with what you say you want, are the actions and the thoughts that you are putting out there actually supporting it? Does this make sense? Am I being clear on this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so basically, I want you to check yourself. This is a time for really gentle reflection, and that's going to be my third point coming up here. Really gentle reflection, because this can be a yucky zone. Nobody likes being told that you are literally doing the thing that you should not be doing in order to make your goal happen. Nobody likes being told that the way you think and the way that you feel is actually prohibiting you from moving forward. Nobody likes being told that. That doesn't feel good, because we're like, well, crap, why can't I get out of my own way? Like, what's going on? But what it is for you and for me is an invitation to dig in. Ask yourself the question, why? Why? If I am trying to achieve this, and I'll share a very specific one for me. So I just had within my life and business coaching business, I just had a big thing happen in there, a big like too bad thing, where somebody has chosen to no longer work for me or work with me, and this, like, totally raw and vulnerable right now, you guys, right? Like, nobody likes to admit this stuff, but like, this happens, you guys. Like, you need to know this. It's just like a challenger that says like, hey, like, I totally want to work with you. I totally want to work with you. And then they bail, right? Like, or they return their challenge pack or something like that. It's like that. Oh, like what? So this happened within my other realm, but they all combine. You guys know that all these things, all of this in our life, like the whole spider web we weave, it's all combined. And so my business coach looked at me and she goes, well, the result of this, what are you proving to yourself? Are you proving to yourself that you can't have money, that you can't have success, that you can't have the clients by like the energy that surrounds this? And I was like, oh, I don't want to think that's true. Like, and I was like, but it allowed for me to go deep. Like, okay, what could I have done differently? Could I have done anything differently? The answer that I came up with really is like maybe a couple tweaks, but ultimately, and this is what I will share with you guys, in terms of your businesses, when people make a decision, 9.9 times out of 10, it has everything to do with them and nothing to do with you. Keep that in mind. Remember that. You can't own somebody else's decisions. You can't own somebody else's actions based on their decisions and their feelings. You can just own yours, and you can reflect upon yours. Which brings us full circle. Are you proving to yourself by the energy that you're putting out there or by the actions that you are or aren't taking that you can't have the life that you want? Gonna let it seep. This is like real talk here. And the reason why I'm going deep with this, you guys, is this is very energy based. So let me give you another specific example. When you're setting goals and you're feeling really jazzed and you're like, I'm going to hit $1,000 month, right? Like, that's a big deal. I'm going to hit $1,000 month. And then like as the month goes on, and like you start to have those thoughts of like, who the heck am I kidding? Like that's not gonna happen. Like that can't ever happen. Like what's going $1,000 a month? What am I thinking? And all of those thoughts, that is just sending confusion into the universe, because you set your intention, you did a great job with that, but then you allowed for that energy that's swirling within you through those negative self-talking thoughts to literally block that $1,000. Is this making sense?
Mm-hmm.
Are you following?
Yes.
Some of you want to throw up right now. Are we doing okay? Is this is coming? It's not too hard. Like this is all right. I'm checking energies. All right. So what do we do about that, right? Because guess what? We're always going to have the crazy train thoughts. Like they're going to stick around. I don't care how successful you get. I don't care like if you're making $1 bazillion. I don't care if you've got 500 clients. I don't care if you hit Success Club 1,000. Like the thoughts are still going to be there. So what do? I've kind of come up with a formula, and it's going to kind of transfer into my my final thought. Hang on, I want to make sure I get this right, because I did come up with a legit formula, and I sent it to a friend, and she was like, well, that's brilliant. I said, thanks. Let's see if I can find it. I may not be able to.
She took them all downstairs.
Wait for it. Sorry, I should have got this before, but I actually didn't even think about the formula until right now. And that's the cool part of riffing live. It'll be worth the wait. Promise. Anybody got a knock-knock joke? All right. I can't find it. Hold on. It is when you are feeling those negative swirly thoughts, or when you hear those, like the opposite of what you want. Basically, that's what it comes down to. If you are constantly thinking the opposite of what you claim you want, that's the block right there. That's what's going to keep you from achieving it. So what you do is you stop and witness it. Gently witness it. There's no judging here. You witness the thought. You flip it on its head. You actually say the opposite, what you really want. So you affirm for yourself what it is you really want, and then you surrender. And when I say surrender, you give it up to whatever it is you believe in. God, the universe, cosmos, divine energy, source energy, whatever it is. So you stop, you witness that you had that thought, that like self-sabotaging thought. You flip it on its head. You say the opposite. Literally say the opposite. Don't just say to yourself, oh shit, I said it again, right? I told myself that again. And just press on with your day. No, you stop and you say what you actually want. And then you surrender it. And you say, here it is. Take it from me. And this is what you do. And this is where I have found myself tripping up in the past, is I'm like, okay, wait, I'm so sorry. I surrender. Please, God, take it. Please, universe. Like, this is all yours. And then I manic manifest getting the words away from me. You don't have to do that. Surrender it once and press on with life. Right? Because then if you get in that manic manifest, like, crap, I said that, blah, then you're like, oh, bad energy. I'm still going to block it, So stop, witness what you said, flip it on its head, and surrender. Surrender it once and press on. Yes? Good? So let's get into that final nugget right now. With all of this, you guys, please remember that you are just learning. We are all always just figuring this out. And guess what? We get to figure this out. Because here's the thing. I'm pretty sure not many of our friends are on a call right now with 12 or 15 other people, talking literally about like energy stuff, like metaphysical stuff, in order to make our lives better, in order to stop self-sabotaging, right? Like, this is awesome stuff. It's scary. It doesn't necessarily feel super great because it's so outside our comfort zone. And I also know that in terms of business building, life building, the energy stuff often gets pushed to the side because many people are like, well, who has time for that? I gotta like get my head down and build this business. No, I'm gonna tell you what, unless your energy is aligned and feeling right and you're constantly checking yourself, the logistics don't matter. You can grow this. You can hit Success Club 25 without being aligned in energy, but you know what? You're going to feel like crap. That's just the truth, you guys, because I have been there. Do you know how long? Who was I saying this to? I don't remember. Aislinn today. Do you know how long Missy said to me? Missy's my coach, for those of you that don't know. Missy got into meditating and stuff like that probably a year before I even like gave it a thought. Do you know how many times she said to me, Jillian, you got to start meditating. Jillian, you have to start actually getting in alignment with your feelings. Like, you have to actually get your energy into the right place. Like, you're pushing, forcing. You're doing a great job in the business, but like, you're a strung out mess sometimes, right? But I was so resistant to it, I wasn't ready to hear it. So I get it if some of you are like, dude, crazy train. Like, what are you talking about with all this energy stuff? But what I'm trying to tell you is that I had to hear it over and over and over again. And I had to actually experience it for myself. And I had to get to the point where I was ready to receive that information. I literally got on a call with her once and I started it off with saying, do not tell me to meditate about this. And then I like told her my problem. She was like, okay, but you really should meditate about this. But I'm just trying to share with you some true behind the scenes of where and how I think all of us here can raise our frequencies to be better people, to be better humans. And guess what? We get to do that by way of helping people with their fitness and their wellness goals. We get to do that by showing up in people's lives and offering them the best damn shake there is, offering them the best damn value on fitness there is. Dude, you guys, they keep coming out with like the most amazing stuff that we get to stand behind. We get to serve people with. So look at yourself and your energy. We've got the tools. We know the tools are there. You guys know how to do a power hour. You know how to send out invites. But are you literally stopping yourself from sending out invites? Right? Could that be one of the things that is keeping you stuck in that place? Right? Mm-hmm. Are you proving to yourself that you can't move forward in your business by way of not sending out invites? It's a clear example right there. Oh, I didn't hit Success Club this month, but I also didn't send out any invites. They go hand in hand. I didn't hit Success Club, so I'm going to sit here for the next 10 days of the following month, bummed that I didn't hit Success Club that last month, and I'm still not going to send out any invites, right? It's like that circle. So what are you going to do that feels right? Final point. We've talked a lot about like the male and female energy, right? We've talked a lot about that in terms of like force, and like kind of flowing a little bit. So as I'm sharing this with you, like you guys know, I get amped up and I get jazzed. I do not intend to suggest that you do the action necessary to achieve the goal that you say that you want in a forceful, unaligned way. That's why I get back to the make sure it's aligned with you. Make sure the feeling and the energy is true within you. Make sure it's really connected to your heart, what you're doing. Get that alignment first so that you don't feel like you're forcing to achieve your goals. Start here. Connect your head and your heart. Start here first. so that it feels like you are flowing toward your goals as you're taking the inspired action. If you're out of alignment and you're not taking the action, then you can't possibly move forward toward what you want. Can't. If you're out of alignment and you are taking the action, you can move forward toward what you want, but it's not going to feel great. And if you are in alignment, but you're not taking the action, you're not going to move forward toward what you want. So what's the best way to do that? Recenter, come back in. And if you guys want to talk more specifically about this, I'm happy to have these conversations because I've been learning about them for the past year. I really dedicated this entire year to learning more and more about this stuff. And it's September now, and I can finally have what I think to be a pretty confident conversation with you about this. I couldn't have had this conversation in February. I couldn't have had it in June. I'm ready to have it now. And I think that a lot of you are ready to receive it. You may not be ready to act upon it. That's okay. Remember, we're always going back to giving ourselves grace. We're always going back and honoring the season that we're in, right? You may have a goal right now, but really may not want to put in the work to get it done. That's okay. That's the season that you're in. But if you are in the season that you are willing to actually take the inspired action to get to your goal, then you need to look at what you're doing that's stopping you, that's keeping you from that. Call it out, call it what it is. But again, what are we doing? We are stopping, we are witnessing, we are flipping it on its head, and we are surrendering. Sending you all some vibes. All right, I'm going to look at the comments really quick. I love to see the comments blowing up, you guys. Sharon said, I think it showed me that you honor your boundaries. Thank you for saying that. It's taken a lot of time to get there. But yes, I do feel like I do have a better appreciation for truly knowing what I need and the boundaries that I have. And I encourage you all to reflect upon that. When it's not feeling right, take a step back. Own your boundaries. Let's see. Sometimes you just need to rest your body and listen to what it's telling you. Yes, Colleen. Yes, yes, yes. 100 times. And I will tell you guys, when energetically, and you'll start to maybe notice this, when energetically I'm not in alignment, my body, it gets injured. That's how my body shows me, like, girlfriend, something's not right in here. And because my default has always been to force and to push through it, the universe kind of like picked up on that, and it's like, we're taking that right away from you. Sit and be with it. Don't force yourself to figure it out. Allow for the universe to do that, but sit and get real with what's going on. I definitely don't look pregnant. Thank you. I appreciate that. Gabby Bernstein. Yep. She's amazing. Energy has to follow the intention. Yes. I may puke, but keep going, Casey. I love you. Donna says, surrender. Pray, pray, pray. Yep. Colleen says, I have to stop in my tracks and speak to God for a few minutes just to wrap my head around life. Yes. I honor you for saying that and for witnessing that and for recognizing that. How are we doing? 9:02. Okay, perfect. Does anyone have any thoughts or comments that they want to make, or questions, or like just want to call me out for being a crazy pants, or what? Does anyone have anything that they're like, I got to get this out right now? Maybe you feel like you've been struggling with it and we can help you to release it. Now's the time, you guys. Bueller.
I might say something.
Please do. I'm going to turn this up because I can't hear you.
And I'm going to try to not cry while I say it. So
okay, if you do, I believe that tears are a sign of strength. Tears help to align us with our true self.
So much of what you said, I mean, really, really hits home with me. And you know, and a couple people on the team know that I have a lot going on right now. And I'm so sorry. I was just trying not to cry.
No. It's okay. We're here for you.
okay, I want you to be able to understand me, so I'm going to try not to be a sobbing mess. I have a lot going on with like my family, and my dad is not too well. So that's what's going on. But I've had a big, I think I've been having a big wake up call from the universe the last several weeks that I've been ignoring. And it's funny that you say that, Jillian, about, you know, physical injury and how that manifests. And I absolutely think that's what happened with me, because I was pushing through, and like I was bound and determined, come hell or high water, I was going to finish the 3rd week of the 2nd round of Shift Shop. And it took me like 3 weeks, and I kept coming back to it. I kept saying, no, I'm going to do it. Like, we were in the middle of moving. We had all of this stuff going on. It was totally okay. But I kept bringing myself back to it, to the point where now, like, I can barely walk, and I'm sitting on a heating pad because my pelvis is so jacked up. So that was finally my wake-up call. It was like, girl, stop. Like, you need to stop. And for me, that's scary, because when I have to stop and be still, that's when all of the feelings flood around, and you can't deal with them by, you know, I mean, working out. That's, we all have this value that we have in fitness and how it helps us think clearly. But for me, it was a way that I was numbing, and that was taken away from me, and it was for a reason. And I'm having to really step into and be okay with the different seasons that we go through in life, and the different kinds of energy that we put out and that are around us. So, you know, like you talked about how you may want something, but you don't feel like putting the steps necessary to reach that goal. And to me, that's very hard. It's very hard not to see myself as a failure for that. But I know that it's okay, and that something else is meant to be right now, and that those things can shift. And talking about the sort of the male and female aspects, and how, you know, we can be so driven and task oriented and goal oriented, but right now my focus has to be my family, and it is my family. I extend that to my team and my challengers that I have with me. They have become a very, very close family to me, and I'm so thankful for that right now, because that's what this is all about. That's when I signed up to be a coach with Jillian, it was because she talked about this community and this sisterhood community and this family, and I was like, that's what I need, that's what I want, and I have that now, and it's carrying me through something that's really hard. But I know that in the end, as I continue to go through this, it's going to make me stronger, and it's going to make my team stronger. So I'm kind of sorry that I really unloaded all that on you guys, but I almost didn't get on this call tonight just because I was like, I don't feel like it. And I'm trying to stop, and when I realize that I'm doing that, when I'm avoiding everything that Jillian's been posting about how are you getting in your own way, I see it and I'm like, shut up, Jillian. Just stop.
Stop making me think about it. I know.
I just want to like scroll past it and ignore it, and then I go back because I stop and I feel guilty, and I'm like, I need to see this. And we do that when we hear something that hits hard and hits home and it pisses us off sometimes. It's because we have to stop and we have to recognize it. And it's really cool when that kind of stuff works out, when we just finally stop running and let it work out.
Yes.
So you're awesome. You guys are all awesome.
Thank you so much for being so open with us on that. And I have 2 thoughts, and you're amazing. First of all, I've got 3 thoughts. You're amazing is my first thought. My second thought is yes, 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 a million times over. Yes, yes, yes to we are scared out of our flipping minds to sit and get quiet. As a society, as women in particular, we are scared out of our gourds to sit and get quiet because we are scared of what's going to come up. It is a lot easier to go through life suppressing. It's all okay. It's all okay. No, it's not. Sometimes there is just stuff. There is junk that we think is easier to keep pushing down. But my God, think about it. It's like having a baby, right? Like, you've got this baby within you and you're going into labor and you've got that moment of like, oh no, this is staying in. Like, there's no way this is actually coming out. I'm going to suppress. I'm just going to pretend like this isn't happening until like you finally are just like, all right, Lindsay, I know, sorry. And then you're like, okay, this is happening. Like, you have to literally, figuratively and literally, I guess, but like, you have to let it, whatever it is that is festering, and I don't mean to like align a baby with festering, but you get the metaphor. You have to literally let it come to the surface. You're going to feel even more intense pain, but then when you release it, it's done. It's literally gone. It is out of you. That's what we do when we sit with what's really going on, when we allow for ourselves to get quiet, when we don't press forward in workouts that we should not be doing to our body, when we don't have the second or third glass of wine because we just don't want to really deal with what's going on, right? When we do whatever it is, like those are the top two things that pop into my head for some reason. But like, you know what I mean? Like, we are scared to sit quietly with our thoughts, but this is my invitation to you guys. Go there. Do that. You know what? I will give you all permission. I'm not your boss. So you don't need permission from me, but I will give you all permission. Don't flip and do your power hour tomorrow morning. Don't do it. Get up, do a meditation, Google something on YouTube, do a meditation, and sit there in silence for an hour. Do a meditation, sit in silence, and then journal. Just write. Get it all out, because you will be shocked as to what actually comes out on the page once you start writing. Seriously, do that for your soul, especially if you feel like, okay, I know there's some stuff. I got some stuff going on. We all get stuff, but there are times that we've got more stuff than other times, Do that for yourself. Don't let it be an excuse to stay there forever, which I'll be totally honest with you guys, all of September has been a very space-giving, needed, reflective time for me. But I'm like, well, definitely I got to start getting those invites back out there, because like the world doesn't stop just because Jillian's having a breakdown. You need to give yourself the grace and the space, but also remember that your inspired action is directly going to impact what's going on within life. But seriously, you guys, don't force it. Don't force it. So that's the first thing. Let me think about the other thing. I should have written it down. So the first thing that Casey said that I wanted to make the point on is allow for yourself to get quiet. Allow for yourself to feel the feelings, because when you allow for yourself to feel that really, really low feeling, you might feel sadness, you might feel anger, you might feel it like all the way. But wouldn't you rather feel the extreme of sadness so that you can feel the extreme of happiness, rather than just like dance in that middle realm of like, I'm okay? I would. And I dare say that the more often you do that, the more you actually have the opportunity to align with joy, true joy, on purpose. Because the more you're excavating your emotions on purpose, the sadness, the baggage, the whatever, the more often you get to feel that true joy. So that's one. And then, what was the other thing you said? It was brilliant.
While you're thinking, can I add to that really fast? Doing that, when sometimes that means having a freaking breakdown. For me, it has a lot lately. Like, seriously, you guys, there were days that we were moving and I would just go lock myself in the closet and cry for a few minutes.
Casey, I've been crying the entire month of September. I'll be straight up honest with you. I've been crying this entire month.
We're on the same frequency. Whatever crazy pants frequency this is, we're there together. So I feel you. Everything you said tonight is just, But when you do that, rather than running from it, to anyone who is dealing with this or deals with this, just stop running from it, because I will spend the whole day being a freaking, I don't know if there's still kids in this, being a freaking not nice lady to my husband. Number one, he gets it the most because he's closest to me, right? And, a closed off parent, and giving, everyone around me, I will just be completely disengaged from. And I will be miserable in everything I'm doing. I will be not wholeheartedly putting forth my effort and my power hour. And everything that I do is just a crapshoot until I have that breakdown. And then from there on out, my day gets so much better because I can feel everything. I can feel up here. I can see the happiness with my family. I can do the things that I enjoy. I can check in with my challenge group and be happy for people. I can talk to new people and be excited about the prospects of how I can help them. But until you break through that, it's not going to happen. So you may sit there through a non-productive power hour for days and days in a row until you take time to stop and be quiet. So that's my morning routine has totally changed. I don't go on walks. I think that walks are dumb, but I've started walking every day. I go on walks and I listen to Gabrielle Bernstein, and then I come home a different person because I know that I'm waking up not wanting to get out of bed. I know the struggle that I have. I know the patterns. I know what's happening. So once I get myself out of bed and I get myself through breakfast, we go on a walk and I listen to Gabrielle Bernstein and I get it all out and I come back a different person. And that is going to allow me to step back into my business because it is 20 a month and I'm sitting at Success Club too, to be real with you guys. So
yeah.
I'll stop talking now, but
no. Thank you for adding all of that because it's so powerful and it's so nice to give it context, and especially nice to hear from somebody else besides me, right? Because that's what this team is all about. So, yeah, you guys, there's so many outside factors that we're always going to have to deal with, right? We're always going to have to battle. So this goes back to finding that harmony, maybe not balance, right? But finding the harmony between giving yourself understanding truly that like excavation time, but also understanding that you don't need to stay there forever, and that when that becomes self-sabotaging, when that becomes your excuse to actually prove yourself right that you can't move your business forward, it's time to step forward out of that, right? So you have to be aware of both sides. You have to be aware of what you're telling yourself is truth. Right. And this goes both ways. You can be telling yourself that like everything's great and it's really not great and you got to like work on that crap. But you can also be telling yourself, oh, well, I just don't feel good and all these external factors, like that's why I'm failing right now. When like, no, like you really just got to take a little bit of action too. Right. So it's finding that harmony, but always ensuring, right, the alignment within us. It's complex, you guys, but it's life and it's supposed to be, and you get to figure it out. You get to muddle your way through it. You get to fail through it. You get to sit there in your first meditation feeling like the biggest geek and like, dude, I'm not doing this again. But then you get to go back the next day and try it again and get better at it and get better at it and get better at it. Right? Like we have the opportunity to do all that. And guess what? Like I said, kudos to us. Truly, kudos to us that we care enough to do that. Most people walk through this world, like I was talking about that pendulum swinging, like the deep sadness, but the intense joy. Most people walk through this world in that like mundane, numb, I feel nothing mode. Allow for your pendulum to swing, but find the harmony. Find the harmony with it. And remember, when you are in that place of alignment, you get to prove to yourself one way or the other, whether you can or you can't. So make sure you are speaking to yourself the right way. Make sure you are taking the inspired action when it's the appropriate time to take it. Because you guys, like, yeah, we all go through like this like bonkers time that like Casey and I are in like Cheerville over here. Like, but that's not gonna, this was my other point. It's not gonna last forever, right? And you also know that your goals, you're going to hit them. It's going to happen. But you have to be open to the fact that it may not happen according to your will. So that's why the surrendering is so key. You still have to do the work. You're not going to go diamond if you're not reaching out to people. You can't say, hey, God, I'd like to put in a request for you to drop in 8 coaches into my account, 2 of which are going to be active as emeralds all the time. That's not going to happen. But if you trust that it's going to happen at some point, right? Because the crappy times aren't going to last forever. You are actually going to hit your goals. That's not going to not happen, right? Because you're going to do the work, but you also have to trust. You also have to surrender it. That's where the harmony comes between, all right, I got to start turning over what I can't control, and I have to start owning and doing what I can. How does this feel? Good? Helpful? Okay. I think we should stop. I think we should stop. Lindsay's like, yes, we need to stop right now. Lindsay, are you going to be up in 2 hours? You can send me a text. All right, you guys, I love you so much. I honor you for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I honor you for the work that you're about to put into yourselves, right? For taking that inspired action, but also for getting in alignment. That feels good. Okay? Go forth, do the things, don't judge yourself, trust God, know that it's going to happen, have certainty, right? That's my favorite line from what Gabby talks about in May Cause Miracles from A Course in Miracles. When you have certainty, you don't have to worry about the outcome not happening. You just have to enjoy the ride as you get there. I love you, I love you, I love you. Everybody go to bed. And make sure you meditate and journal tomorrow. Okay? All right. Peace. You guys are amazing. Bye.